Hola, amigos and amiguettes. Welcome back to another week of NFL Bell. Lou, how you feeling?
I'm good. Last week was killer in UFC and NFL, and then we just interviewed Cody Brundage on our channel. So looking forward to spitting out a whole different sport for the next hour and seeing what gems we can come up with, even though we don't have a lot of props that I would like at the moment, although I will bring them up as we go along.
Yeah, 100%. Last week was killer. I think that was probably the best week we've had on the show, I believe, because we only missed, well, again, we only missed
Pitt,
one.
I think Pitt was the only one that was, and that was a weird
It was
game.
injury plagued.
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as Trub Shitty took the field, you knew you're fucked.
And
Trub
he gave
Shitty's
me
never
hope.
been good for anything.
I had hope because he was driving him down the field, but when he gets to the end zone, it's like pick, pick.
When he gets when he gets to the end zone, he remembers that he's Mitch Trub Shitty, and
I don't
then
know
he
what it
can't.
is. Maybe he's concussed forever and he realizes, oh, maybe I'm throwing to the wrong team. Let me throw it to the other color.
No, the fact is he was just never that good at North Carolina, and I told my buddy how bad he was going to be, and he's like, no, he's like, no, you don't watch tape on him. I'm like, oh, okay. This is the same guy who thought Christian Hackenberg would be a really good quarterback for the Jets.
Oh my
And
god.
he said you have to watch his tape. And if you looked at the draft, like Mel Kiper and all those dudes on ESPN, if you looked at like the pros and cons, his cons first one literally said bad tape. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to watch the tape, even though literally I watch college football and I'm a Penn State fan. So like I know what he's all about, man. He ain't a good pro. He's barely a passable college QB. Oh, but the Jets took him, so he's probably going to be good.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck off.
honestly, no, that was just horrible. That was horrible. That quarterback was garbage.
Terrible. All right, let's attack the slate, and we got to
Yes,
talk about
sir.
Brock. We got to talk about Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm. And then if you guys haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're finally over 100 subs. Let's do this. Shout out to the boys in the chat, Evan and Patty Mack. Never trust anyone who says they watch tape. Oh, come on. We'll see.
Mitchell has
Listen,
25. By
Evan.
the way, Mitchell has 25 points.
Yeah, we're good. I was about to tell you that too. He just hit a 3. Evan, we did not think Mitchell Trubisky would touch the ball in this game, but our boy came down with a concussion mid-game in the first quarter after like I think it was a second or third drive. So
Right, he didn't start. Like
yeah, no one in the right mind would actually play someone with a quarterback named
and
Mitchell
Patty's
Trubisky.
right. Anybody who says they watch tape relentlessly, come on, dude.
Ay. Anyways, on to the real stuff now. First game of the week, we got Brock Purdy, BCB, as my brother would like to call him, Big Cock Brock, going against Seattle, in Seattle. And line is Niners minus 3.5. We saw that, Debo obviously is out for this game. He came down with an injury. Luckily, it wasn't an ACL tear or anything. It looked like it was, but it was just an ankle sprain. And Brock Purdy is a little bit banged up with an oblique injury. But short week, that's what's going to come down to. Lou, I defer. Go for it.
Okay, so let's say Purdy doesn't play and it's Josh Johnson, and we'll know tomorrow. So there's no reason to really bet this game. I mean, if they announce that Purdy's going to play, the line's not going to get steamed in the bad way here. Give me the Niners until they give me a reason not to take them. Honestly, the way they play offense anyway, it doesn't really matter. They're run-heavy team. Yeah, Purdy made some really nice throws last week. Don't get me wrong, but these are throws that Josh Johnson can make because everybody's committing to the run. And speaking of committing to the run, Seattle knew the run was coming all of last week. On this very show, we said, why is this number the way it is? Is it just because Kenneth Walker is out? And now we're realizing, no, their defense can't stop shit on the ground. So Carolina, who is so one-dimensional, could just run at will against this team. What are the Niners going to do? Even without Debo, I think McCaffrey can have a field day. I don't know that Seattle's going to score more than 10, 13 points in this game. And I don't think San Fran's going to need to do much, especially on a short week. And look, Seattle, man, they were making a little bit of surge toward the playoffs. We're going to talk about another team coming up at the 1 o'clock slate that I'm kind of grading very similarly to Seattle, but give me San Fran till they give me a reason not to take them. I'm not even buying the hook. Give me the even money at 3.5. I think this is a pretty nice smash spot for them. I know that San Fran also had their problems with Seattle over the years, but that was Russell Wilson at the helm. That is not the case now. So I think San Fran rolls here. I will take all the McCaffrey props as well. They're going to juice them too, and they're going to be juice props.
Oh yeah, especially with no Debo. So there's a couple of less carries. One play that I'm not gonna say play. I hate when I hear people say that. I don't know why I'm saying that. One bet that I took last week was McCaffrey over 13.5 rushing attempts. He got exactly 14. Still cash last week. I think this week, if they hang that same line, I'm taking it for double the amount, just because we don't have the shared backfield with. I wouldn't say it's a shared backfield, but Debo does take like 7 to 8 snaps. So I'll
And
take that.
he takes trick plays too.
Exactly. So I would take that. I'm all over the spread as well for the Niners. Same thing. Maybe I will buy the hook. Never know. I always like to play it safe, and I don't mind paying the little bit of juice. It would go up to like minus 125. I checked it earlier, so I don't mind it. And yeah, similar opinion here. I think Niners are just a better team overall. I think the defense can get a touchdown, maybe even two. Sacks are going to be all over. We still don't know if Kenneth Walker is playing tomorrow, which if he's not, then I might increase my position on the Niners, because we saw how one-dimensional that Seattle offense is without the running back. It's horrendous. So yeah, give me the Niners all day tomorrow. Let's see. Next game. Unless you had any more thoughts on this one, Lou.
I do not.
All right. Next up, we have 3 Saturday games. First week with the Saturday games. First matchup is Indianapolis Colts against the Minnesota Vikings.
How dare they put these games on during the last UFC event of the year? How dare them?
It's a disgrace. And you know what? Fuck them. Because I'm going to be on an airplane. I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, nice, dude.
I'm going to Vegas. Hopefully I run into some fighters. But first game, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Minnesota is in 3.5, I believe. Wait, is it frozen on my end on the screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm fucking around.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, I like how DraftKings added player pictures now, just so I know how much extra I can lose on these props.
Dude, it seemed like last week all of the most obvious anytime touchdown scorers hit, and I played none of them because I was skeptical. I hated it.
Of course, because you're like, that's not possible that this is going to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, getting back to this game, Vikings -4. I think they cover this by a mile. I'm taking the -4, even though we've repeatedly said that 4 number is very weird. In this matchup, I just don't see how the Colts give them anything to compete with. I like the Vikings a lot in this spot. I think Jefferson again has a pretty big day, even though he's going to be covered by Gilmore. He's shown week in, week out that he can't be covered by anyone. So I'm taking the Justin Jefferson props. What about you, Lou?
Good luck, because I am on the opposite side of this one. And there has been some very sharp money movement from 5.5 down to 4. I didn't understand the movement at first, so I did a little deep dive here. So Minnesota is bottom 5 in the league in pressure rate. That's how you beat Matt Ryan. They are also bottom 10 in the league in stopping the run. So all the things that Indy can actually do okay are in play here. As far as Minnesota goes, I'm going to use a word that I'm going to hate that I'm going to use, but they are due for some regression. They keep winning these very, very, very close games. I don't know that I'm going to bet the game, and we're going to have fights on. So, like, look, I don't need to have, like, if I don't feel good about it, I don't need to have action on it. But 5.5 to 4, like, that is so suspicious to me. Like, the optics would say that Minnesota should probably just smash. But, and I'll add one more thing here, too. I know NFL math works about as well as MMA math, but I feel like this is important to bring up. If you look at their common opponents, the Eagles beat Minnesota by like 50. Like 41 points, whatever the final score of that game was, a beating. And Indy lost to the Philly on like the last play of the game. Again, I realize it's different styles, it's different matchups. I understand that, but and then Dallas is the other one where like Indy was in that game for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter was awful. But Dallas from bell to bell buried Minnesota. So the thing is Minnesota, if you look at their common opponents, like Indy's hung in there tough. They really haven't been blown out. I'll tell you right now, I'd feel most comfortable with this, and I don't know that I'll get to it. I would tease Indy up 6.5. Get me through two key numbers. Give me 10.5 because Indy's not getting blown out in games this year. I mean, like I worry like early. Like I get it. Like it's the optics don't suggest anything I'm saying, but the sharp money movement does. So ultimately a pass for me, but for the sake of the show, I'm going to take the stab on Indy +4.
Fair enough. I like it when we
I don't
disagree.
love it. I don't love it, but I can't get past. We did it last week with Seattle and Carolina. We're like, why is this line moving the wrong way? And look what happened. It was a beatdown. I mean, look, it wasn't a like. I don't think the final score is even as close as that game was. Like Seattle had a chance. And thank God Metcalf caught that last one to get me over, like for my same game parlay.
Yeah. That was a nail biter.
Dicey.
Very dicey. But yeah, prop wise, I don't really like much here besides the Jonathan Taylor rushing yards.
Yeah, I think an 82.5 is pretty realistic for a team that I don't think has good running defense. And if it is a close game as the line suggests, I think he clears that.
Yes, sir.
I really do.
Next up on the board, a team where we don't know who's playing at quarterback. Baltimore Ravens against Cleveland. Lou, start us off.
I mean, like, all I wrote down is I guess, and he's gone. Okay, we lost Wiz. Hey guys, it's the Lou Show.
I don't know what happened there. My bad.
I like all I wrote down on my notes is I guess, and I have no idea. Yeah, we could have a third string quarterback playing for Baltimore. If it's Huntley, I think I favor Baltimore at this number. I'm just not sold on anything I've seen from Watson. This total is like total AIDS, like 37. Like I don't know what to do with totals like this ever. I always want to play the over because I feel like they're so low, but I would lean Baltimore here with the +3 if it's Huntley. But I don't know how you can bet this game. Like, I don't know how you can bet this game either way. And by the way, Brown's money line, -1, whatever. Like, stop. Go get your own show. Suggesting a favorite money line here. Like, get out of here. Take the points or get the fuck out. I like I said, I guess I would lean Baltimore, but I won't bet this with your money. Like, I won't. Like, I want no part of it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's a very tough game to look at because on one hand, you have a quarterback who's coming back for his third game in 2.5 years, has looked really bad in those first two games, barely completing passes. And then on the other side, you have a very big question mark on who's playing quarterback. So this it has a pass written all over it for me. In my notes, I have literally nope. I
Yeah.
don't want anything to do with this.
Nope is
And
fine.
you know what's worse than losing a bet? It's losing a bet when you can't even watch the game. Because I'm gonna
Yeah.
be on the airplane once this kicks off.
Well, I thought you were going to Vegas for
I'm going to it's only like an hour of flight, but I'm gonna miss an hour and a half to 2 hours of the game. It's pretty much almost all of it. I'm good on that. I don't want to lose money in the plane. I already have UFC bets locked in that I might, maybe we'll win, maybe we'll lose on the plane.
we shall see.
We shall see. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I got some stuff for this one. Can't
This
wait to
is
hear
a
it.
good game, and we saw the demise of the accuracy of Tua Tagovailoa.
He was shit.
He was absolute ass. He couldn't complete passes. I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know where he was throwing the ball. Like he was overshooting receivers left and right. So what's going on with Miami? I do not know. What is the first half total for the Bills here? That's what I'm curious. Last week was a feast on these first half team totals.
13.5, and I actually wrote that one. And I wrote that one down too. There's two of them. There's two of them on the board that are 13.5 plus 105.
I'm excited.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I'm betting in this game. Bills first half team total over. That's the only look that I have. The only thing that I like. What about you,
All
Lou?
right. I'm betting the team total. I'm betting the -7. I'm teasing this game. I feel like the line's probably a point or two higher than it should be because how bad Miami looked at the Sunday night game. But there's a lot I like here. It's going to be freezing fucking cold for this game, as opposed to the last game, which was like 103 degrees and like, which was wild. Like how exhausted I know those guys were in that game. Tua, this wasn't like Tua was hurt. This was just like an act. Like this wasn't even like a bad performance. This was like, what are you doing? Like, what kind
Mhm.
of game is this? Tyreek Hill, I know he played through the whole game, but he was definitely compromised. His ankle was hurt at the end of the game. And this is a revenge spot for that first game of the year, too. I think Buffalo, I know people aren't like super impressed with the game they had last week against the Jets, but they're still winning the game. They're still, and like, me and you have talked about this at length because I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. That Buffalo's biggest problem that's separating them from being like a Super Bowl team is they weren't committing to the run. They weren't able to convert short yardage. But man, these last 4 or 5 weeks, like Buffalo has just really been able to grind out games on the ground. I mean, they don't need to win by throwing it 50 times. And I think that's the mark of not only their offense, but like Josh Allen himself turning the corner and saying, like, I don't have to throw for 350. I don't have to run for 70 to get wins here. So I think this is a smash spot for Buffalo, especially with the cold weather. I think this is going to be absolutely brutal for a guy with a bum ankle. Like, let's see if Tyreek Hill can make it through the whole game. Like, and I mean that, like, I'm not rooting against him. I love watching him play, but this is a bad spot for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if his ankle's tender, that maybe they're just like, look, dude, you've like, you're gonna play half the game. We got to save you for a playoff run here. Miami's certainly starting to show some chinks in the armor here, like going forward. So I think Buffalo just absolutely smashed them here. I am with you on the team total as well. I think they do it early and often.
I love it. I love it. And then yeah, you're kind of talking me into the teaser spot here, and I kind of see it. I don't know why the whole word teaser was completely removed from my brain today. It's been a long day, gentlemen. But yeah, I'll probably be teasing the Bills as well. But there's a couple of games on the slate that we can tease them with. Might be the next one. Starting off the Sunday slate, the Eagles against the Bears. Oof, it's gonna be
All
rough.
right.
This is the teaser spot. Lou, start off.
So I do have it written down for a teaser, although you'd want the 6.5 here just to be safe. But even better than that, I just like them first half -4.5. It's completely reasonable here. The Bears have lost 6 in a row now. Like, and not only that, but I think the Bears kind of got what they wanted out of this year at this point. Like they wanted to see development from Fields. They did, in fact, get development. They wholesaled their defense as the beginning of the season. Like they got Claypool for for reasons I still do not completely understand why they even made this
And Green
trade.
Bay doesn't get him.
It just didn't make any sense, like the move. I think they got what they wanted. It's not like they can make the playoffs at this point. That like I think they're kind of all right with just tanking without tanking. So I worry about the 9. You get a backdoor cover here, like they could be up like 16, 15, whatever, like, and hit some bullshit at the end. I mean, the Eagles kind of like they take their foot off the gas big, but historically this year, like statistically this year, the first half they've been really good. Uh Especially these last couple of weeks. Like, I don't know what the fuck the Bears are gonna do to stop them. So give me the Eagles first half -4.5. I may even look at an alt line here and go like first half -9.5. If the like whatever the highest number is, if you're gonna give me like +3 something odds, like I'll take it. Uh I kind of hate playing touchdown props to the Eagles
Hmm.
unless it's like AJ Brown against Tennessee because all of them can score. I almost feel like Quez Watkins is due for a fucking touchdown. Like, and I feel
Yes,
like,
Gainwell, your boy. You got to go back to him.
well, I know, but like it's game script and all that shit. And like sometimes the Eagles just decide not to run. It's weird. Like they'll just run Sanders, then like Like the first half of that Giants game, they like I know Sanders had like a lot of yards, but they only ran him like 7 times and they were just throwing every down.
That was
Like,
hard to watch.
I mean, and I did have the Boston Scott bet last week because he scores every single fucking game he plays against the Giants. So like he's always an auto bet at like plus 500 odds to get a touchdown. But yeah, I think the Eagles, I mean, there's no trend that I saw that's dissuading me from this. Like they're going to just murder him. And I think it's early and often.
Yeah, so this is the teaser spot for me. So I'll probably be teasing the Eagles with the Bills. Pretty big. I don't see what the Bears can offer here unless the Eagles just completely slack off and fumble the whole game. Because I still think like if the Bears get some late offense, they'll still be covering the 3 if you're taking a 6-point teaser.
Yeah, I don't think the 3 is a problem.
Yeah.
Like if it is, and the Eagles have like, I don't know what the fuck the Eagles are doing if this game's a 3-point game. But
Yeah.
they screwed around against the Colts. The Colts made that interesting game early. So look, that's why they play the games. But you got to feel like at this point the Eagles know the number 1 seeds in sight. And
Yep. 100%.
and they're gonna play the Giants again in a week or two where like it's gonna be in Philly and like I will refuse to watch that fucking game. I'm
They're
not
gonna
watching.
put
I will refuse. I will not put that game. If Red Zone puts it on, I'm just turning the TV off. Like I'm just not going to deal with that fucking game. I got a buddy who's an Eagles fan, and he's always like, "You see how good we were today?" And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking hate you. Like I don't care. I'm not indulging your fucking shit. Like I'm like, dude, I bet your team. Thanks for the free money, but like also go fuck yourself, buddy. Like you see
I
how good we
actually,
are? We kicked your team's ass. Like oh yeah, dude.
I like the Dallas Goedert yards in this game. He's coming
Okay.
back. He's been rested.
Do we actually? Let's see. I mean, yeah, we don't have it up yet.
It's his favorite target besides AJ Brown.
Yeah, and they'll get him work here, but let's wait to see if he's like a full participant.
Yeah.
Like I'd want to know because look, it's another place. It's gonna be fucking cold, dude. Like you don't need to bring him back in a game like this and use him a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but I'm with you. Like that might be an interesting. Maybe receptions even. Like maybe not even yards. Just
Yeah.
like if his reception total's low, yeah, he said better take Boston Scott anytime. Of course you do. I took him last week. You take him every game, Patty. I swear to God, does he have any touchdowns against anybody that are not the Giants? Does he have a
Probably not.
career touchdown against somebody who's not the
I
fucking
honestly
Giants?
have not seen him on the field this season besides
It's like
against the
6
Giants.
games in a row. Like I swear to God, it's like a joke at this point where they're like, we know they can't stop Boston Scott.
He's
Not
our
this. What do you mean
kryptonite.
not this year? Oh, not this year. Oh, touchdowns? Yeah, he doesn't. I'm joking, like, I'm joking, but also maybe not. Like, does he have any other touchdowns? Like a like maybe a punt return or some shit? Like,
It's
I don't know.
ridiculous.
All right, what's next?
Anyways, next up, we got Atlanta against New Orleans Saints. And Lou
Okay.
start us off.
Yeah, so this is tricky. So we don't have Ritter's gonna start. Obviously, there's no props for him yet. My lean is under 43.5 here, and it's for a few reasons. So I know that the Saints scored, I believe it was 24 or 26 the last time they played Atlanta. That was with Jameis Winston playing. The Saints haven't scored more than 16 points in any of their last 5 games. They've gone, I mean, or 4 out of their last 5, they've gone away under 16. Atlanta's going to have a new QB. I got to imagine Atlanta's going to have a very, very, very heavy run approach here. Probably run the ball 35, 40 times this game. The Saints, it's still Dalton. He hasn't looked great. I know Atlanta's pass defense isn't very good, but other than Olave and my new favorite player ever,
There's
Rashid,
Rashid Shaheed.
like Shaheed, my new favorite player, especially from like a DFS perspective. I don't know, man. I could see Kamara having a field day on this run defense. Atlanta's bottom 10 in the league in run defense. I could see Kamara having a big game. He probably needs to have a big game. I know his year has been so shitty, but I just see this as like a really grind the clock out, like a 20-13, 20-16 type of game. I'm all about the under here. I know people hate betting unders, but I do like the under. If I had to lean spread, if I'm going to take the under, I would lean the dog. But I can't feel comfortable because I don't know what we're getting out of Ritter. And look, I'm somebody who fucking loved Ritter at Cincinnati. They were like a lot of fun to watch over the years. But he's another guy that I was like, I don't think he's going to be a really great pro. and I think they're going to bring him along. Like he's lucky on a team where his coach has all he's done is called offenses where his QB is mobile, so he knows how to like do a two-pronged or a three-headed rushing attack. But Arthur's going to have a super like conservative game plan here. And like I know the division's still on the line for Atlanta. I realize that. But like if he airs it out more than 18 times, unless they're getting killed early, I can't see him throwing more than like 17, 18 passes in this game. So give me the under here, and I'm pretty confident about it too.
Yeah, so from a spread standpoint, I'm not taking anyone, but for me, I'm specifically targeting the Ritter overs based on how they open up. If it's under 200 passing yards, I'm taking it because he can throw, and the Saints can be throwed on. They
They could be
allow a
throwed
lot of
on. We
they
can
can be
throw it
throwed on.
on them.
Yeah, they can throw it on them. They allow a lot on the passing yard side. So I'm gonna have to take a flyer on those overs. Usually when a quarterback starts off first game, their totals are set really low and for good reason. But I think Ritter can take advantage of the Saints defense and the holes in their defense. I think Drake London is going to be a big beneficiary to that too. But other than that, I'm not targeting anything on this game. This is just like a throw up game for me. Like, don't want anything to do with it besides that prop.
Yeah. I mean, I just really oh, that's you can put up that from Patty. That's a good that's the kind of prop that I can set my watch to is a New Orleans defensive touchdown. I like that. I like that. That's not a bad look here. And like let's see what they may I don't think we're gonna have this yet. No, it doesn't look like we do. We don't have. I mean, we'll see this later in the week when
Mhm.
they have this up. But I like that look. That's always a fun look. I feel like I take that against Brady every week now too, which is kind of funny because they were plus 700 last week, San Francisco. I was like, I could get this, but
Mhm.
they blew him out so bad it was never meant to be. But I like that look. I like the defensive touchdown here from New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I actually don't mind it now that we're talking about that in the Bills game.
Well, yeah, two is yeah, fucking Tua. All right, let's move on. What we got next?
Next up, Lions at the
Well,
Jets.
these are your boys. Here, I'll be right back. Go ahead, start us off.
Let's go Lions. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm taking the Lions again. I understand that the Jets defense is pretty decent, but we're going against Joe Flacco here. And I'm sorry. I just don't trust the Jets with Joe Flacco. And if they're giving me a +1 on the Lions, I'm gonna have to take it. Especially now that they have Jameson Williams back. That's an extra threat. There's a reason that the Lions played so well last week too. It's because they had an extra star receiver, pretty much. Jameson Williams, people forget about him. I think he was the 13th pick in the draft. Solid receiver from Alabama, already NFL size. He's huge and he's really fast. So I'm gonna have to take the Lions here with emphasis. And by emphasis, you guys are gonna like this one because new glasses, Lions with emphasis. Give me that money line. Hand me my cash, Lou. Hand me my cash.
Well, we're gonna have to split the cash because I'm right there with you on the Detroit side. I've been calling the Jets frauds all year. All year. They're not gonna change now. I think they're a fraud team. I mean, their defense has played well, sure, but like it doesn't seem to matter against Detroit. Like they're scoring in bunches. They finally found a really good role for Swift where they're balancing like his catches and his carries, and I like that. Because he's too talented not to use like that. They're finding ways, much like what the Giants like have done with Barkley traditionally when he's healthy, is just get the guy in open space or get him one on one, like away from the line. The guy can do his best work there. Mon-Ra St. Brown's killing it. Williams is looking good, and Goff has played well enough this year where like he's not gonna. He might be the quarterback one more year there because they're gonna. I think they're gonna draft Stroud, but
Yeah.
but he's earned another year. And look, he's proven at least that maybe McVay is not this QB whisperer that everybody thought he was, that maybe he can be like, I don't know that Goff's ever going to be like a guy you want to sign as your starter unless it's like as a veteran placeholder. But I think he's done a really good job this year of like, he's going to have a job in this league. Maybe settle into like a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of role where like he can just keep getting like 1 year, 2 year deals from teams. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like he's going to get paid a lot of money over his career. He's already been paid a lot. Like no matter what happens, the dude's already been paid beaucoup bucks. But I think he's carved out a niche. He's looked, I mean, you got it. It's not the defense isn't the one winning their games as good as Hutchinson's looked. Like the offense rolling, and he's a big part of it. Like, so, look how good he looked with just St. Brown when everybody else was hurt. So, yeah, he's a journeyman. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, man, I think the Lions roll. If you want to bet it, I'd get on it now too, because I can't imagine like there's going to be any kind of reverse theme on the Jets here. So give me Detroit. I don't want any part of that total. I don't want to put a touchdown props this team because they always fuck me over. Like if I'm going to bet Jamal Williams, he's not going to score, and he's going to be like minus 200. So there's no reason to even bother with him anymore. Swift
I'm
TDs
taking that
always like
alternate line, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you're going to give me like even money to take him, I don't want to get too greedy here, but I understand it. If you want to play it, like, I mean, hey man, you want to get more plus money? I ain't going to argue with that. But I'm with you on Detroit, big, and I don't care who plays quarterback. I don't give a shit who plays for the Jets. It's like they're all just
Flacco.
They all stink.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right,
yeah, if they don't play Joe Flacco, it's even a benefit, even a bigger benefit for us because we have the MILF hunter, Zach.
The MILF hunter.
Yeah, Zach.
If he's the MILF hunter, then I'm motherfucking Captain Stabbing.
The MILF hunter, Zach.
Know what I'm saying over here?
Exactly.
Know what I'm saying? I stab hoes. All right, this is why I don't have sponsors. By the way, this is why I don't have any sponsors.
Yeah,
in the LouBetya business.
We don't need no sponsors.
I'm Captain Motherfucker.
We make money from this. We don't need no sponsors.
All right,
next up, we got the Steelers at the Panthers.
Oh brother.
Who's
playing QB? Pickett is limited in practice, just as an update. I gotta think, and if he's just out of the protocol, if it's Trub shitty, this is an auto bet on Carolina for me. Because Trub shitty is the fucking worst.
Mm-hmm.
The fucking worst. So, and they looked good last week. They ran the ball. I think they've simplified the playbook. I wrote down something here that I think is important. And you see this like, you always find like that one scrub. It is a poop game. I agree with that.
Complete poop.
But but you always see this with
diarrhea.
You always see this with one or two teams down the stretch that's out of contention. I realize that Carolina can run the table. I know it's in their destiny, but man, they're playing really hard for Steve Wilkes right now. Like they all speak about him really well. This is his first opportunity being a coach. I think if they make the playoffs, if they run the table, I'd be shocked if like they kept Wilkes. I really would, because it seems like Tepper just wants to like hire some big name and thinks that's going to solve his ails, when like really there's just so many holes in this team that like you're better off with Steve Wilkes like developing like a good mentality for the organization. But I can't touch this game betting wise. If it's Pickett, I'd probably take the +3. The under is probably a fucking lock. 37.5 seems like, unless this game is 6 quarters, I don't know how it's going to hit. But this is just a game. I mean, we have a full slate this week. This is an avoid game for me.
Yeah, this is a complete pass for me, regardless of quarterback situation. I'm just gonna have to pass. I think people are a little bit high on the Panthers just because Darnold has been playing decent, and let's not forget who Sam Darnold can be at times. But yeah, complete pass for me. I don't want anything to do with this. It's throw up game. Hell no. Next up, we got the Cowboys at the Jaguars. Cowboys laying 4. Lou, what you think?
Well, I'm stealing the Wiz special here. So this was the other game with an over 13.5 first half team total for Dallas. It's +105. I like it. This line is like really weirdly suspicious. I realized that like they're saying it's -10 if it's in Dallas, and I guess that But even that seems high to me. Like, to be honest, like I think the Jags have played, aside from that Detroit game which was just an absolute beatdown. I think the Jags have played relatively competitive this year. The fact that the +4 is even -115 tells you all you need to know here. The problem is that I don't know that the Jaguars are giving up so many rushing yards a game that I think both Pollard and Zeke could have a field day. I think you could play either one of their rushing totals and be all right here. It's not like their secondary is that much better. I don't think they can keep up with Dallas, but I don't know why the line is like scaring me off. On terms of the offensive side, I mean, I think Micah could have a fucking field day here. The Jags O line, especially on the outside, hasn't been great. On the interior, they've been okay, but not on the outside. And I think they're just going to line Parsons up, do an end around blitzes, and like he's going to get him a couple of times here. So I know Jacksonville's played well in some of their wins, but like honestly, the Titans are kind of flawed. The Ravens are a fucking disaster this year. Like that was a great win, but really the Ravens just kind of choked. So like good on the Jaguars for like starting to show improvements. And Peterson's a decent coach, but this is a levels game, as we would say, doing MMA. Wiz, this is a levels game here, and I think that Dallas, they don't typically throw up duds in games like this. Dallas throws up duds in games like a Philly game where like it's for seeding. I don't think this is a game where they really drop the bag here, but I think first half team total, and I think you can hit that on the first two drives. I really just think they could run and make this pretty easy early. And then Dallas has shown second half of games they're another team that kind of takes their foot off the gas, but get it done in the first half and get out of there without any injuries.
100%. And the way I'm targeting this game is that first half team total and the first half spread for the Cowboys. I like both of them with some emphasis. The Jaguars, offensively they can keep up, but defensively they lack a lot defensively. And when you start putting pressure on someone like, I'm blanking out. What's
Lawrence?
the name? Yeah, Lawrence. When you start putting pressure on Lawrence,
Sarah Lawrence.
When you put pressure on him, he tends to throw inaccurately, and I feel like one of those is going to lead to a pick six. I like his skill set, but that's the one downfall I would say. And Jacksonville does allow a lot of pressure. So
let's not forget that he still leads the league in turnovers in the red zone.
Yep.
So
yep. That too. So I'm gonna have to take the Cowboys first half spread, the first half team total, and then the Pollard rushing yards preferably, because it looks like he's starting to slowly take over the starting spot here, especially based off of last week and the week before. So yeah, give me them boys. But that's all I have on this game. Next up, we got the Chiefs at the Texans. The last game in the morning slate. The Chiefs are 14-point favorites. And you know what I have to say to that? No. Lou.
Yeah, I don't bet lines like this ever. Especially, after last week with I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Like, and it's funny because I had them bet as like the end of a parlay and I cashed it out. Just because I bet way too much on the parlay to start and I hit the first three legs at 1 o'clock. I'm like, I'm good. And then I see the score and I'm like, fuck, God damn it. Like I shouldn't have cashed it out. And then it got really dicey. And look, we've talked about this at length in the show too. I've brought up this stat many times. Pat Mahomes, the double-digit favorite, is like 3 and he's awful. He's like 25% covering that spread. He's bad off a loss. I know last week wasn't a loss, but the two spots that Mahomes you'd think he would be good in is coming off ATS off a loss and ATS in big spreads. And like, he's just not good. Now, I wonder, so this would be -20 if it was in Kansas City. And it doesn't even seem like that crazy. Like, I mean, it doesn't, but it's really hard in the NFL, to keep it up for all 60 minutes. Like, the Texans just have proven they're not shutting down Pierce. I guess they're trying to get him rookie of the year as best they can. They're running him into the ground. They just don't care. And, Jeff Driscoll, obviously, never bet against Jeff Driscoll if the line is more than 14. Because he showed last week he's 1-0 this year covering a 2 touchdown or more spread. So, and Houston fucked that game up so bad I mean, they punch it in. They punch it in first and goal after the turnover. we're not, maybe we get a more reasonable line here, but yeah,
Yeah,
let's move.
I cannot touch this game. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, I don't do these
Disgusting.
kind of. These are not.
It's blasphemous.
These are not loot. By the way, Doncic is up to 20 points. He's
I need
decided.
one more 3-pointer.
Well, he's
One more
decided.
3
He's
from
decided to
Luka,
stop
man.
fucking around. All right, what we got next?
We got the Cardinals against your boy that we just talked
AIDS,
about.
dude. How the fuck? How bad are the Broncos that they're -3 against Colt McCoy?
Listen, I actually, if I were to have a bet on this game, it would be the Broncos the Broncos minus the 3. I read that flip. Ripien. Last week, he was ripping.
Brett Rippon.
He was ripping. And I'm not going to deny the man.
But look who we're getting. Do you want to bet a game with Brett Rippon and Colt McCoy?
Absolutely not. I think I would rather maybe catch AIDS.
Dude, this is a game that's like this is like maybe an okay like Maction game.
But this.
I guess, but like, do you really want to make that bet like with a backup QB? It's hard for me to want to do that because Denver's just going to crowd the box. Like, it depends on what the total. I mean, let's put it this way. I don't want to say like yes or no to that. You probably have to see what the total is, but like, I mean, if it's like what's a reasonable line for you to say you want the over here? Like, what if it's 60? What if it's like 63?
I'll probably take it.
I wouldn't. That's too much, dude.
Dude, the amount of action that James Conner sees, the amount of snaps that he is playing, it's pretty high.
But he might need 20 carries to get there.
I know. Yeah, again, it's against the Broncos defense. They have a pretty solid defense. But this guy Connors, he's such a hard runner. Even if they stop him at the line of scrimmage, he's getting 3 yards.
Yeah.
I like the way he's playing so far. Now, obviously, 63, it is a high number if that is what the number is. I would expect it to be closer to 55, 56. And yeah, I have to take that number just based off of the way he's been playing lately. The dude's like an immovable object.
Here's what's going to happen, by the way. This is going to be the game I have no action on. And this is the game that Red Zone's going to end up showing me the fucking most because this is always how this goddamn thing works. So, I mean, I just can't in good conscience get behind any bet on this game. Like, I'm good not betting it at all. Like, that's simple. Like, I understand what you guys are saying about the Connor props. Like, depends on the number. I mean, Evan says 52, but also I know Evan, he's making fucking numbers up based on what his fantasy team's doing.
Evan, you want a link?
Evan's just making shit up. I mean, 52, sure. Like I said, he's, if we're talking about pure volume, if you think he's going to get 20 carries, then like, I guess 60 is okay. But like, what kind of game script are we going to get? Like, what if Denver's up like 14-3 in the fourth? Like, I mean, I'm saying is I would rather I'm good. Like, I'm just good not dealing with this game.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Yeah, let's move on to the next
I don't
one.
want to call him on Monday. All right. Call this guy on Monday. Call him with my fist. By the way, you know who my one win was this year in fantasy? Evan. Free win, 1-1 game before my whole team got hurt. And no bet is there's, especially on a full slate. We're off bye weeks now. There's good spots. I mean, like, look, also, Patty, that being said, if we like sweep the 1 o'clock board,
yeah,
maybe we don't talk about week. like if I like sweep the board week 1, like, I need like one more prop for a round robin. Like, maybe I'd be like, I can find something from this game because I have a gambling problem. All right, what we got next?
We got the Patriots against the Raiders. The game I am purposely. Well, it's the reason why I'm going to Vegas, but I'm not going to the game. We got tickets for my brother for his birthday.
For the Hunters.
He goes
Bring
watch
on
the game.
the
He'll go watch
horse.
So yeah, I'm gonna have you know what? No bias or anything. I think the Patriots get probably 2 pick sixes in this game. Uh, Mac Jones is not the best quarterback in the world, but I think he's better than Derek Carr, in my opinion, just accuracy wise. But this game is also AIDS. We have to agree. This game is complete AIDS. If this was week 2, I would have been all over the Raiders. If you guys don't remember, I was a huge Raider truther earlier on, but they've let me down too many times now. So I refuse to bet with or against the Raiders. Lou, take it away.
So Stevenson was a non-participant today in practice. Damian Harris is limited. But Damian Harris isn't really like, it's very straightforward. He's not really involved in the passing game, whereas Stevenson is just such an animal. So I can't advise any play at the moment until I know what his status is, if Stevenson is going to play at all. On the Raiders side, man, I know you've been on the Raiders more than me this year for certain games. I know they fucked with you relentlessly this year. Like Adams early in the season couldn't catch shit, couldn't
Hmm.
catch cold, and then he had a bunch of games where he's unstoppable. Jacobs was a little banged up last week, but still warrior shit out of him. I wonder. See, now you look at Belichick and you say, well, which one's he going to take away? Now, the secondary has been way better than the run defense. Not saying the run defense has been bad, but their secondary has been very good all year. So I got to imagine the plan is to stop Devontae Adams, if I had to guess. I'm not Belichick. I don't have any insider knowledge. I'm saying
But you
if
Lou
you're
bet.
Belichick, if you're the Patriots with the makeup of their defense, I got to think, take Adams away, let Mac Hollins and Moreau beat you in the air, and do your best to shut down Jacobs and slow the game down. I got to think that's how this would play, if I'm guessing. So if that's the case, I actually wouldn't mind a little play on like a Mac Hollins prop because they're looking his way. He's certainly getting targets. They also use him in weird ways in the rushing game. Like, I don't want to play anything like that, but your Hollins lines are probably going to be like 24 and a half yards, 29 and a half. No, I don't know. That's probably not going to be that low, but it's probably not going to be that low anymore. But I think Hollins get a few catches here. I mean, the Raiders are still very much a pass first team. No matter how good
Yeah.
Jacobs is, it's still Carr's team. He still wants to throw a lot. And I think that to take away Adams, you're going to get, and not only that, but you don't get good numbers on Adams at this point. So I would take a shot on Hollins here. You could do like your Moreau to get one catch and 30 yards like he does every fucking game. But for right now, I just need more information. We got to see. Stevenson's the big one. If Damian Harris and Stevenson aren't in, like, what kind of weirdos is he going to play? And keep in mind the Patriots are playing on short rest. So,
That dude, Kevin James, the person
yeah.
with two first names, he's actually pretty
Yeah.
good.
He says he thinks Renfro and Waller are back.
Ooh,
I mean,
that switches a lot up
well, I'm looking. So it doesn't seem like
because I didn't see anything about that.
they're not, doesn't seem like they're limited. I mean, Rock Ya-Sin did not participate, just, for what it's worth. But
Oh shoot, damn.
if Renfro, I mean, I care more about Waller here.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're both off IR. So will they be used limited is one thing, but the fact that they're even on the field, you know what? I still like Mac Hollins here because he's going to be wide open. And look, his yardage total might take 2 receptions. So we'll play around as usual. As usual, Wiz and I are always like tweeting it out before the cards start. But so I'm saying there's a chance.
Chance.
Saying that I would love, dude. I like the Raiders, man. I hate the Patriots, like, just as a fan, but dude, the Raiders and the Ravens just love taking money from people this year.
Mm-hmm.
And your money. They love taking your money, and they like taking some of my money.
I don't like them. I
Yeah,
don't like them.
trust me, I have a lot of college teams that have enjoyed taking my money this year.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, and
The
you know who else would like
Raiders,
taking my money?
the Raiders.
Russians in the
single-handedly-
UFC have taken my money.
The Raiders single-handedly have given me heart palpitations.
I bet.
Uh,
I bet they have. Dude.
maybe a couple of holes in my walls, broken phone.
The
Just
Cardinals game.
Oh my god, the Cardinals game made me furious. And the part that was even like the worst part, they were up right first half. I fall asleep from halftime all the way to like the fourth quarter. I'm like, what the fuck happens? What the fuck happened? And I see the scores flipped, and I see Kyler Murray running around and
Yeah, it was that
doing his thing.
it was that 90-second 2-point conversion that like fucking killed you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's
I
get
don't
off
like.
this game. Let's get away from this.
Next up, we have the Titans against the Chargers. And this is a game that I do have some interest in. We've talked about this angle a couple weeks ago when the Titans were playing the Eagles, and the Titans' weakness is the deep ball, and this is one thing that the Chargers do pretty effectively. The Titans can't guard the deep ball for shit, and in this scenario specifically, the Eagles they only had like one main deep ball threat, which is AJ Brown, and look what he did. This time with the Chargers, you have Mike Williams, you have Keenan Allen, and you have Palmer that can all go deep, and they're fast as shit. So I'm taking the Chargers here. I'm buying the hook at -2.5. I think they can throw all over the Titans secondary just based off of the way they cover these deep balls. Because for some reason their defensive coach has still not picked up that maybe these teams are going to try and throw the deep ball on us and get like a deep touchdown. No, no, it's like they're blind to it. Chargers first half team total is also interesting for me too. But yeah, definitely the Chargers -2.5 with some emphasis.
Okay, so as always, the one question I need to know with the Tennessee Titans is Racy McMath playing in this game? Because if Racy McMath is active, he's probably going to go for 15 and 304 yards with 3 touchdowns in the first half. And then this game's a smash spot. So I like the over here. And I had to give this one some thought because I have said, again, there's some things I've been saying all year that are true. And I can't get off this enough. The Chargers are the worst coach team in the NFL. They're just the decisions they make. They barely beat a team last week where Tua was 3 of 17 for 25 yards. Like they should have won that game by 21 points. They weren't playing good defense in the secondary. Tua couldn't hit anyone. He wasn't anywhere near his receivers. And it's not like his receivers stink. He's got like a fucking all-star team out there. So I don't think the Chargers did much. They finally used Eckler a little more, which I liked. And this at the meantime, what can't the Chargers do? They can't stop the fucking run. Now, I've said on the show multiple times, I don't think Derrick Henry looks right. I think he's worn down from all the carries this year. I don't think their O-line looks right. I don't. But it might not matter here because the Chargers can't seem to fucking tackle anybody at the line unless it's like 6 yards deep. So Miami didn't try to run the ball last week. Like, I don't know why they didn't. Like, they just didn't even try to run it. So I think Tennessee can get you at least 20-something here just on the ground. And it's not like I think the Chargers secondary is that good either. But now they got a full slate of weapons. Mike Williams back, and he looked like an animal. Like, Palmer, our boy Palmer, even in like now that he's not like the third receiver, they still got him some looks. I don't think he dropped any targets that he had. They always use Everett, right? That's Gordo's boy. Gerald Everett, the touchdown
Yep,
machine for
yep.
Gordo.
Gordo.
And I've always been high. Like
Even London, my
I
man.
almost think like Herbert's doing his best despite his coach. Like I just feel like they just, 2 weeks ago when Eckler got fucking 11 touches receiving and rushing, I'm like, how the fuck do you like not give this guy? How do you give this guy 11 touches a game? It's like disgraceful to me. I got to think that was out of the norm here. I could see the Chargers putting up at least 31 points in this game. So you want a good team total, that's fine. But I think this is a high scoring game. I think it's a fun game. I think if you play DFS, this is a good game to target.
Mhm.
Like I really do, especially if you're doing like one of my like favorite, like either the tiers play on DraftKings or like just a late slate. I like to target those late slates. I like the fewer games because I like plugging in obscure dudes like in my lineups. I think this is going to be a game where you're probably going to have to be almost overweight to the field on it. But give me the over. I lean Chargers. But like Patty said it, like, how do you fucking trust this team? And I don't. I can't. So I'll play the over. They probably win by 2 now that I'm saying it. Like, but if that 2 is 26-24, that's fucking great. So over and then a slight lean to the Chargers, but I don't feel good about the side.
Makes sense. Complete sense. We got the Bengals going against the Buccaneers,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
Bengals winning 3.5. This is a smash spot for the Bengals. A smash spot for the Bengals. Give me the first half team total, whatever it is. Uh, if Team Motherfucking Higgins is healthy, you already know we have to take their touchdown.
I know you can't see it on my sheet, but I literally have the word smash spot written
Mm-hmm.
down on this fucking sheet.
So
Do not play.
right now.
No, I'm not playing T. Higgins props. Not after this. Not after BetMGM fucking me over by not voiding that bet. That's dicks.
Well, maybe you should use FanDuel.
I used DraftKings, but I had that bet on different books. I had different numbers. I put the bet on DraftKings. They voided it. And then I put it on BetMGM because I had 2 yards lower. I'm like, all right.
Fair enough. I
And
see it.
FanDuel, I will be able to use in 17 days after I nuked my account and did a 1-year ban on myself, a self ban of 1 year because blackjack. And
Oh,
that's like all I have to say. I'm sure I could have done a month, and I did 1 year, and I was like, "Fuck you guys! You're not ruining my New Year, bitches."
so you proceeded to play blackjack on BetMGM.
No, DraftKings.
Oh, well, you then proceeded to play blackjack.
I've had pretty good. Yeah, well, just yeah, but like I like DraftKings even though it's rigged. I just like the interface better. Plus, I like Spanish 21 because it's so stupid, and I fucking don't care. I just goddamn love it. It's just so much fun. Like, yeah, contrarian game. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you here. This is like, dude, I've been saying every week, nobody's paying attention to Cincinnati anymore, man. Like, dude, they're quietly going on a fucking run.
Yeah.
I've been saying it every week. I've been on them every week. And also, what bet do I make against Cincinnati every week? Take Tampa's team total and sacks. Always take the team total and sacks against Cincinnati. Their O-line stinks. What do you think? What do you think? Like, fucking Perrine is dominating because it's like all fucking wheel routes. He's wide open because Burrow's like, I gotta throw it in 2 seconds. Like, so. And by the way, he's a good bet going forward, even with Mixon back, dude. If his numbers are low, like they use him a lot.
Yeah, I like Piran.
They use him a lot. I was gonna say Perrin, but I'm confusing that
Yay,
with another loser. We already scrubbed all. He was never on our channel. We only deal with winners at the MMA Engine. We only host winners on our channel.
That was a beatdown.
Yeah, it's a good thing I never bet on him. But
yeah, I'm glad
anyways,
I didn't either.
I think Cincinnati rolls here, and I just really like the way even their defense is playing way better now. Like, and good for them. Like they got the Cleveland game off their fucking back. Like, like we talked last week. Like I couldn't bet Cincy because this fucking owned by Cleveland thing. So like, good for them, and they still got me because of the Higgins prop. So I still lost on the game, but. All right, we are on to the night game, one that you and I are going to have.
You know what, guys? I'm gonna tell you from right now. Me and Lou are probably not gonna be betting on this game because this is our playoff.
I'm betting on this game.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I'm betting on this game. Absolutely.
Giants.
Yeah, I'm betting on this game.
With emphasis.
Yeah, I'm betting on this game. This is an easy bet for me. Whether it wins or loses, it's a very easy bet. You have to take the Giants here. 4.5. 4.5's not a good. 4.5 is a disgraceful line. They just fucking played 2 weeks ago. I realized it was in New York. I understand things change, blah, blah, blah. I got it. They just played. Okay. Bellinger's back. Yes. Okay. That's one weapon. We have to deal with fucking Cager. That bum. Lawrence Cager. They just played. Look, it was a game. The Giants were winning that game for the bulk of it. That last drive put it into overtime. And then the overtime was a fucking, I don't know what the fuck overtime was. And Gano, and like, look, it was a 55-yard kick or whatever it was at the end. It was a bad kick from Gano, but it's rare. Gano's been so dependable for the Giants over the years. Been like their best player. Hate to say it. I think this is close, man. I think 4.5 for this kind of game. Feels like a 3-point game either way. Honest to God, if this game tied again, would it shock you? Could this end 2020 and like again and you wouldn't be shocked? I think the Giants keep
Well,
it
I'll,
close.
I'll be very mad. I'll
I
say
think the
that.
Gi- I think the Giants keep it close. It's a primetime game. Washington, it's not like Washington blows anybody out either. When Washington wins, they're winning by 3 points. So like give me the Giants to cover in a really ugly game. I'm putting my fandom aside here. This has nothing to do with that. I think the Giants can slow down the running game pretty well on Washington. I know the Giants haven't been lighting the world on fire on the run defense the last couple of weeks, but I'm not really scared of Brian Robinson, like going for 150 yards.
You know,
I'm not. So, like, I think it's going to be an ugly game. I mean, I think if you tell me it's 17-14 either way, that sounds about right to me. So, give me more than a field. And yes, 4.5 seems suspicious, but like, I'll take the bait here. I think the Giants can hang in there and make this like a really ugly divisional, old school NFC East game.
I sure hope so because this is for the playoffs. This is our hopes. Whoever wins this game has a pretty straightforward path to the playoffs. You got to win one more and you're good.
Yeah, we
We'll see.
shall see.
I will be crying or I'll be very happy in Vegas. Last game on the slate, we have the Rams against Green Bay.
Nope.
Yep.
I'm
Nope.
I'm not I cannot in good conscience play this game. And I don't care who's playing QB for the Rams. 7 points. The Green Bay should not be a 7-point favorite over anybody. So,
No.
like for the show, I'll say the Rams. Because I don't think Green Bay is good enough to be a 7-point favorite. That's simple.
Yeah.
Like I would
Yeah.
lay the points or take the points just because for the sake of the show, but don't bet this game just because it's the only game of the night.
Yeah, please don't because it's going to be such a tough game to even bet on, in my opinion. There isn't any angles that I think could be utilized, whether it's from a prop standpoint, maybe like a Watson yards prop, I guess, but even then, you just can't trust these guys right now.
You cannot.
But yeah, it's a complete pass for me. Guys, this is week is a weird slate. We don't have as many like clear angles, but you just have to know when to lay off the gas a little bit sometimes. And I think this is the week where you lay off the gas just a little bit because there aren't that many favorable matchups. Stick with the couple and don't overcrowd your slate. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me.
Oh shit. Evan's like talking shit to me privately now. He's like, James Conner over 52. And then he called me some racist names. Evan, I do not appreciate the racism in my inbox. He's not writing me racist names.
Evan, you will never be on the show.
No, all Evan and I do in my inbox is talk shit about Dumpy. I'm like, I can't believe Dumpy made this bet. It's only plus 2,800.
Like, how does this guy make this international basketball first quarter spread bet?
If I'm looking at your bets and I'm like, wow, those odds are crazy, like you're a degenerate. If I'm doing that, like, then it's like, what? Like Evan and I talk, and I'm like, dude, how is plus 900 in a parlay not good enough for him? Like how is this not? He's like, well, and then you look at his bet, and it's like all his bets are like $2, and I'm like, so how about instead of betting $2 on a plus 12,000 play, how about you bet like 20 on like not that? Like, how about that? And it's like, oh, he's funny as shit. Like, this is not an insult on Dumpy. Like, hey man, he's like, I can't believe this didn't hit. And I'm like, yeah, which of the 12 legs in your bet are you shocked about? He's fucking blind betting the World Cup. He's like, oh, Ronaldo to have 12 shots on goal. I'm like, dude.
And you remember when he was asking us for a count?
Yeah, like I'm like, dude, you're not even watching it. He's like, no, I'm at work. And it's like, okay. And then every game, soccer's stupid. I'm retiring. I gave everybody the fucking Netherlands team total one, and Tim's like, fuck it, I'll retire. And he's like, oh, what should I parlay it with? I'm like, dude, it's one bet for plus 275 odds. They need 2 goals. Like, dude, that's pretty good for one bet. He's like, no, I got to add it with stuff. And then it's like he's just fucking adding like 8 guys in the team to all have 2 shots on goal. I'm like, dude, they're not gonna have 16 shots on goal in this game. Like, what are you doing?
That's
He's funny,
fucking
but he's funny as
hilarious.
shit, dude. So
It's
he's,
fucking hilarious. I
I
love that.
I appreciate him. I appreciate it, and then I like when I can side chat Evan and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this kid?" And Evan's like, "Right, like all we do is give him good bets," and he's like, "No, I need more. I need more than that."
He needs some more international Australian. Oh no, not Australian, Norwegian basketball. First quarter bets too. Anyways,
Man,
guys, that's the end of the show. I wanted to thank you all for watching again. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you don't. Let us know what you're looking forward to this week, and we'll be back next week for another slate. Lou, tell them where they can find you.
we just recorded an interview with Cody. Weezy and I just interviewed Cody Brunner, just fighting this weekend. I did the prop show today with my buddy Max. Got the happy hours in front of the MMA Engine. We are doing a live watch along for UFC on the MMA Engine channel with Addicted to Combat, Blood Money, MMA, and Johnny K-Pix. And then I am going to be on hiatus, and we'll see when I come back, if at all.
And that's not what we want to hear, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what we want to hear. But tomorrow I'm going to have the 1 minute breakdowns live at a random time, but it will be on the YouTubes. So if you guys want 1 minute breakdowns for the fight card this weekend, I got you. But until next week, see you.